drawing basics using a picture of ourselves. So what we do is take a headshot of ourselves and then we make a grid and then we draw it. So it's that simple. Hi, my name is Sandy and this is Sandy Treasures, and we are going to learn other techniques as far as drawing basic drawings for maybe you're planning on doing a book, maybe you're planning on having some characters created by you. And I'm saying, maybe you're doing it for a book because I actually created my own characters and created this book called Trashy Mermaid and the Plastic Pollution Legacy. And all of the art was created by me and it was all freehand. And I've been able to create my doll versions of these mermaids, and it's a lot of fun. So hopefully you'll get to that point where you can create a character and you can do whatever you want with that. So let's get started. Alrighty, let's go for it. Maybe a little bit smaller. Okay, so we have basically an oval shape, and we're going to map out where everything goes. We're going to do the eyebrows, the eyes, the nostrils, probably a little bit more elevated here, nostrils, and I'm going to do the middle of the mouth. All right. So you normally won't see me drawing like freehand. My doll versions are not going to have that perspective usually. So this is a way to help figure out where everything is going to go, right? Okay, so let's start off with the eyebrow. The eyebrow goes kind of like down here. Boom, boom. The nose kind of like over here, and then like this. And we have the nostrils right there. We have this like that. The eyeball, we are seeing, well, wait a minute. I needed to go a little lower here. So the eyeball was right here. Don't get lost, Sandra. And then we have the cheek and like that. Okay, we're going to figure out this is where the mouth goes, and there's a little bit more of a curve here. Okay. And then the eyebrow, like that. Okay, and we almost have it, just by doing a few lines to kind of like help us figure it out. Now I'm going to erase these lines. Okay. Like that. Probably needs to be moved a little bit. Okay, like that. And now we do let's figure out where the ear goes. And then here goes the head, the neck. Then from here, we can complete the neck. And kind of like that. And this is the opportunity that we have to make the features just a little bit more exaggerated than they are. And this is so we can do our doll version of anything we want. So here goes the hair. Like that. All right, basically that was that. You don't have to spend a ton of time on that. And now here we're going to reinforce our lines. We get to choose the lines that we really want. Here goes the eyebrow. Here goes the eye. And then here is the eyelid. And like that. And like that. And here we have the nose. And, you know, I would never draw the cheek this way on that perspective on my own, because in my mind, I have it totally different. So this is a very good exercise to figure where things really are. And then when you have this already figured out, you can go ahead and pull all your like beautification features or, you know, exaggerated features. Here, this one is going to go just a little bit like that. And the lip. Yeah, the perspectives can like really throw you off. So this is a really good exercise. Take a picture of yourself and see what happens. How does it turn out? See how that has such an arch? That looks so weird already. Give me a minute here. See, there's like just a sliver right here. A sliver of the white part of the eye. And I'm going to complete that like that. All right, so here we go. And let's take down the grid so we can see some of the details. And let's do that ear. And as you go with the darker color, you're going to micro correct a lot of things that you thought you had figured out. Just coming around again with the darker color pencil gives you an opportunity to figure things out again a little bit more. Okay. I almost want to pull the hair away from the ear so I can see better. So I'm keeping that in mind for the next time. I want to take a better picture of the ear so that way we can do an exercise with that. Right? So she's coming together here. Okay. And this is the part where I am not going to do the eye bags or the line that goes around my mouth. I'm not doing all of that. So you see, you can make your doll version character from your own headshots. You know, if you go online and you try to find the perfect model that you wanted, you may have a hard time finding it. So it's nice to be able to pull this exercise off. And you see how, you know, here I'm making this neckline a little bit more rejuvenated. Let's call it that way. And then right here to right here, I have that. All right. So if you ever wanted to draw a doll version of yourself, just do it. Don't worry about all the wrinkles and age spots, because you can just skip it. Nothing wrong with, I like my age and I like the whole process. So let's say I'm proud of where I'm at my age, because I like myself. So it doesn't matter if you're old, but for these paintings or these drawings that I like to do, no, I don't want to do wrinkles and stuff like that. Maybe a little hint of it, but not, this here is enough. So maybe a little hint of it, but that's about it. I don't want to, let's say I don't want to do this one here. All right. So that's just for this exercise. If I was doing a realistic, let's say if I'm doing a portrait, I'll go ahead and do these lines, these extra lines, but I'll do them minimal, like, just minimalize these lines. I think it looks better. I always like to leave a little bit of a highlight here, even if I'm not doing too much detail, but there, just for this little exercise here. Okay, pretty much there it is. Eyelashes, it's a nice one to exercise the direction. A lot of people get the direction of the eyelashes wrong. I've seen it. Okay, get a little bit more on the hairline, like that. So these are just quick exercises. I don't want you spending a lot of time with it unless you're planning on doing something more elaborate with it. But the whole purpose of this is to kind of like map out the face and see where it takes you. See how it looks. It's a good exercise, okay? Tell you what's a good exercise that I like to kind of like get it mapped out as well are these lines here on the neck. Kind of like figure where that goes. And, we'll do another exercise, I'm sure, where we have more mapping out, more grids for mapping out. Okay, like this and like this. And then, of course, I would throw a little bit more shading right on the jawline, like that. And I would kind of like figure out this shading here too. And then this shading here. And I like figuring out the shading that goes underneath the lips. And then okay. And that's pretty much it. See, it's a quick exercise. We figured out where everything goes. And now we're pretty much done. I mean, you can get into more detail, of course, but the purpose of this exercise was really to figure out where everything goes, at what perspective. And you see how I exaggerated the size of the eyes, okay? And I kind of like gave it the dollification, just less of the aging spots and aging lines, less of that. And this could be a very nice painting if I wanted to take it all the way. But you see, there it is. Ta-da. Thank you for joining me. I'll see you next time.